Direct provision, or Soláthar Díreach, is Ireland's system to provide accommodation for people while they seek asylum in the country.
People seek asylum when they are unsafe in their own country, and this can arise from a number of reasons, including persecution, conflict, and environmental causes.
Direct provision was introduced in 1999 as a temporary measure, but more than 20 years later we still haven't changed from this outdated system.
Countless human rights organisations, activists and politicians have criticised direct provision as inhumane and degrading, due to its failures at providing basic human rights to its residents. Caithfear Kenny and Dulling Lech leis an vibe seo.
Residents have limited access to further and higher education, and until February 2018, they had no right to work in Ireland.
30% of people living in direct provision centres are children, and many centres are in isolated areas with little to no access to public services such as transport.
Adults are given a weekly allowance of €38.80. In an Irish Refugee Council report, 85% of respondents stated that this was not enough to live on during the pandemic. This is only one example of how the pandemic has exacerbated the plethora of issues asylum seekers already face.
In the same report, 55% said they felt unsafe during the pandemic, and 50% said they were unable to properly socially distance themselves from other residents. This is due to the fact that people in direct provision often live in cramped shared accommodation.
According to DURS, the average amount of time that an asylum seeker spends in direct provision is 2 years, but for some residents, the process can take up to 10 to 12 years.
Ireland is the inclusive and intersectional country we claim to be. We must treat asylum seekers equitably and humanely so we can create a society that benefits all, regardless of their background.
ISSU stands against direct provision, and we pledge to hold the government accountable to end a system that abuses human rights and denies those most vulnerable in our society access to basic necessities.
In the Coalition's programme for government last year there was a pledge to end direct provision, but the fight is far from over and we cannot let up until it is ended.
You can join us in pledging to end direct provision by visiting Amnesty Ireland's website and signing the pledge.
We here at the ISSU have joined the pledge to end direct provision, and we want you to join too. Help us show the government just how many people in Ireland will continue to hold them to account until this inhumane system is truly over. Sign the pledge at amnesty.ie/end direct provision pledge. This link is now shared throughout our social media pages, and we ask you to support our message in conjunction with Amnesty Ireland.